Yeah. It was just a fucking charade. 4
Is it
years.
charade? Charade? I don't
Charade.
know. I don't know. Boom, we're here. We haven't, so fuck it. We have a new way we're doing this podcast. I'm doing monologues on Monday or Tuesday. Those will drop Tuesday. But now me and Jesse are going to be chatting it up.
Yeah.
Just living life.
Just winging it.
Just winging
Sometimes
it.
we're gonna wing it. Sometimes I'm gonna bring in some hot topics that I want to talk about.
Yeah, man, but you and I always have good conversations, so I think we're just gonna do that.
Yeah.
And no time constraints. No, let's just be free.
Yeah, dude, I'm down. It's the only place we could really be free.
Yeah, right. And you know what? We get to do it because there's so many people like, my family. They just can't talk like this. They just none of them can talk like this.
Yeah.
So I take full advantage. I make sure I don't say anything like hateful, right? But we get to say pussy, dick, and fart jokes and like fuck Donald Trump very loud. And other people don't get to do that. They have to go like, So we get to do that. So it's like we got to take full advantage of that. But what Jesse and I were talking about was how crazy we were in how crazy a 22-year-old is, or a 19, any of those ages under 25, a man's
Yeah.
frontal lobe isn't fully developed till he's 25. I was sharing that I got sober when I was 23 and was such a wild animal. I just didn't have, like I said, I didn't have any values. I had the values of like a drug dealer or a drug user. So it was like lie, cheat, and steal. If you didn't do what I wanted you to do, I was going to, exert my will onto you and intimidate people. And it was really cowardice. And I talked about it yesterday. I was doing an impression of a man. You were doing an impression of a straight edge person, like you shared. But I was like looking at I had certain guys I was looking at. I was like, that's what a man does. A man fights. A man makes money. A man fucks girls. Like, you know what I mean? Spends money, has a nice car. I was doing an impression of what a man was, and it's taken me my whole 20s to figure out, like, what is being a man to me. But share a little bit more about...
That's a great point. Yeah, and we were talking about, I was playing that role, which my parents and society said that was the right thing to do. I mean, because that's what was the common pathway to like a better life, especially as parents like that were like lower middle class or middle class or whatever. It's like, all right, you go to school, you get a good job, blah, blah, blah.
These are the steps you take.
So not having my own agency or like logic at such a young age, 18 or whatever it was, I thought, oh, this is the way, what I mean? So I very much so felt like I was playing a role. And the role was like, be this good, smart, whatever boy, get a good job, do all the things. And I also noticed that I was always like reaching for the next thing, thinking that was going to fix me.
This is going to do it.
Yeah. And it was like, I feel like that was instilled at a very young age.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, finish high school, get good grades, go to the, take AP courses. Once you graduate, then you're going to be good. And then it was like, go to college, get all the things, blah, blah, blah. Once I graduate college, then I'm going to be good. And it was always like this, like,
then I'll
at some point.
Then I'll be, yeah.
But it was never the case. And like, actually, the more times I achieved those things, the more I realized how like more empty I was.
Yeah.
And it's like.
Yeah, that's part of what I got to do sober. I did that in my 20s, my early 20s, until you saw that trend. You saw the transition out of that. Because like right when I met you, that was probably 2.5 years ago, right? 3 years ago. All that stuff stopped working. All the stuff that I was like, when I have sex with that girl, when I have this many clients, when I can buy whatever I want, when I can, you know what I mean? Like all those things were like when I can, and they don't fucking. I think they work for other people. But I think like the addict and alcoholic, it doesn't work. It's just like you have to.
Yeah, because it's always that next fucking
it's the
thing.
Same, it's the
next
same
hit,
chase.
the next fucking thing.
Yeah. So I've been working my way out of that recently, which that's the healing process we talk about on here all the time. It's just, it's changing those old values, those old thinking. And that's why I do the healing stuff, the positive stuff that I do, is because I just need new values. And like now it's not only needing my values for me, I need my values for my little kids. Like, what do I want to teach them? And, so it's a process of being
a game changer for sure.
Yeah, it's a process of being an adult, man.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, trying to play that part and then becoming an adult, quote unquote. And like still to this day, I'm like still trying to figure out like what I like to do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like I thought like, all right, I'm going to go to school for engineering and my life's going to be set, and then like I got the good job and I still couldn't figure my life out. And I was just like unmature, and just blowing all my money. And still to this day, I'm like, I don't know what I like what I want to do like for my life. Yeah. And I'm still like trying to figure this shit out. And I'm starting to get more clues as I'm like honing into what gives me joy.
Yeah.
And somehow like maybe formulating something out of that can be a career or a pathway or something. But I'm like, I should have had this shit figured out a long time ago.
No, I think I forgot who I was talking about this with, but the standard that our family lived by, because like older people will say like, will expect us to have more figured out by 30, right? But there's just there's arrested development for our generation. Maybe the younger people will have a little bit more direction. I don't know. But for us, we're in this weird space of like in this older generation of like older values, but still influenced by social media and the internet and all that stuff. And it's just, I think we're kind of the learning curve. I think our generation's kind of the
it's kind of interesting to think about that as well. Like being there for like pre and post internet, basically.
Yeah.
Like
splitting life 50-50.
Yeah, like growing up as a kid and like playing outside and like being, just in the street, like playing sports.
Riding your bike and shit.
Yeah, just riding bikes around, like not giving a shit about things. And then like also experiencing like the advent of Facebook.
Yeah.
And fucking internet. And like now you're like instant messaging with your friends.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, like when AIM was a thing. And we had the dial-up modem. So like no one could be on the phone. Or you couldn't be on the internet if someone needed to use the phone.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, I'd be like talking to my friends like, oh man, I gotta go because my parents need to use the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's just like you whip out your thing, you're fucking talking to friends all day, So
Dude,
it's just like crazy.
One time I ran up my phone bill because now you just pay your bill and you just use your phone however you want. But I ran up my phone bill to like $2,000 because I was talking to a girl. Remember, because back then you would. I still am a caller, dude. Like, if I got something to say, I'll call people, But that's because in junior high school and in high school, you'd be up on the phone with a girl.
Yeah, for like hours.
For hours. Just like, what are you doing now? What are you eating?
Yeah.
Like, what are you watching? So, like, it's weird. We're in that in-between. So I think there's a level of arrested development for our generation. And there's pressure from our parents, and like my parents want me to have it figured out, but you see often, and you saw it with the older generation, people had it figured out at 20, 21, 22, 25, and they hate their fucking jobs. They hate their lives. Happiness here in this country is at a lower rate than even poor countries because this churning of this workforce. And I think our generation, like for us, we choose kind of love and passion over corporatism and fitting in the box. And I think, well, I know for a fact we're the first generation to do that. Being that first generation, the advent of social media, like we're the first influencer, generation, YouTuber generation. That's all our age. We started that thing. So now it's like podcasting is a viable form of, income. Now it is. Like, people wonder why I spend so much time doing this. I'm like, yo, I will make more money podcasting and I'll have more freedom podcasting than I would coaching 100 people. And this is a new thing. This is within our in the last 10 years. Joe Rogan's only been doing his podcast 10 years. So we're in a weird in-between stage. And now there's younger people who that's all they want to do.
Yeah.
All they like want to play Fortnite. And my son does. He's like, I'm going to start streaming. I'm like, all right, you can. Yeah. But like, that's not a great thing to fall back on. But is it? There's people making millions of dollars if you're really good.
Yeah, I had not a realization, but something I've been thinking about recently is like, I followed the track, right? I did what I was supposed to do. I got the degree. I have a good set of skills, like I can provide for myself. And I do have a fallback option always, just with my experience. But now it's like, okay, but what can I do that's going to make me happy?
Keep you filled up. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, I know I can do this. Like, worst case scenario, I can do this fucking thing and I can make a living. But, like, now it's like, all right, well, what can I do that's going to make me happy? That, like, I can take a risk on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And I will tell you, I've sacrificed, my family and I have sacrificed a lot of security for me to be able to chase things. But I'll tell you, I'd rather be broke like this than to be. I've been flush and doing really well, working somebody else's thing and chasing somebody else's dream and waking up for somebody else and having to be there for somebody else, especially, with dealing with the mental health stuff. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck if you're sad. They're like, either go home and you're fired or like show up at work. And I've worked for people who just didn't give a fuck about me. I would rather be broke doing the things that I love to do than work for that. And there's a sacrifice that comes with that. I think most people, I was talking to my boy, Danny, I think most people want that in theory. They want it in theory, but then the discomfort of not being able to do what you want, like financially, the discomfort of the insecurity that comes along with like not having, because for a guy, and probably for both, there's so much security that comes from being financially flush, and to say I'm going to sacrifice being that security for joy there's implications there. But I will tell you, it's gratifying to be able to do it. And I wake up every day excited to do the shit that I do. Like ready to go. And I wake up at 6 a.m. It's not like I sleep until 9. I wake up at 5, 6 a.m., go to the gym, do it all for me, which is fuck, man. I wish everybody could do that, but not everybody can. I'm in a very unique position to do that. And also, I have to choose that. But people don't know the reason I've gone into this space is not because this wasn't the intention originally, but I kept having mental breakdowns, and I was like, no one's gonna hire me. You know what I mean? Like, no one is gonna hire me anymore. And nor am I gonna put my fate in anybody else's hands anymore. I was like, I can't live like that. So I forced myself to do my own thing and to make my own way. But I think our generation, my point is, I think our generation is that cusp generation of like, there's some people who went the straight edge route. I have some friends who are doctors, lawyers, and shit like that, and like construction people. And then there's a lot of people in the spaces that we're in the coaching space, in the wellness space, in the more flowy, jobs. And we're in that middle. But young people get it. They're like, I want to do what makes me happy, Mom.
Yeah.
He, her. They call me he, him. And
yeah, although there is something to be said about like knowing a hard day's work as well. Not saying that you don't know that, but I'm saying for the younger generation.
Definitely.
Like, I just want to fucking be an influencer. It's like, it's also important to know like how the fucking world revolves.
To know how hard it is to make $100. I need to be reminded of that. So I need to be reminded of that sometimes, because when I pull a new client, it's a large sum of money at one time. And you forget that like, to make $100, most jobs, that's 5 hours of work at $20 an hour. Mm-hmm. If you get paid $20 an hour, a lot of people don't get paid $20, more 15, 16, 18.
Yeah.
So how long does it take to spend?
That's before taxes.
Before taxes. So how fast I can spend $100 in a day, every day.
Oh yeah, like,
with no problem.
I could spend $100 like on Amazon in like 3.5 seconds.
Exactly. So like that's important for people to know. It's like, hey, look how long it takes to make $100. Like, and that's something. And I had to learn that in recovery too, because even in New York, I was working in the trades, and I was making $80 an hour at 19. And that's what I thought money was like. And I worked 6 days a week, got paid every Friday, and I was like, I got this fat ass
I've
check,
arrived.
and I would just blow it all on Saturday, pop bottles and shit. It's fucking crazy, stupid life. My boy Kevin Francis said, you know, he wants to live a life and not chase a lifestyle. I've been a lifestyle guy so much of my life. And I think your 20s is kind of that. You're living different lifestyles. You're living like in different areas. Like I lived in North Park and lived in like that lifestyle.
Well, not really North
Shut
Park.
the fuck up, dude. It's North. You're such an. It's more. If it's anything, it's City Heights. You fuck. It's not normal.
I'm just playing.
But I was in North Park doing the North Park thing, and you live in all these different lifestyles, and then the gym thing. You're in the gym every day, bodybuilding, wearing string fucking tank tops and shit.
Yeah.
Like you're living all these different lifestyles and finally now I feel like I live a life, like fulfilling things, doing things that I love, spending time with people that I love. Quarantine was dope because I was like, I'm with the people who I want to be fucking stuck with. These are the people I want to be stuck with. Not, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to be anywhere else. I feel like that's living a life for me now. It was all like, you know, fun shit before. So
yeah, man, purpose is legit, bro. I'm like really happy that you have like
thanks, man.
your purpose right now, you know?
Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's
cool to watch.
Thanks, man. It's I spent so much of my life lost, like not knowing what to do ever, you know, just like, and then that maybe when I have this, when I do this, I'll feel like I'm at the point. And obviously things aren't where I want them to be all the time. You know, getting things off the ground and like the grind of recording a podcast when you don't know how many people are going to listen. I don't even look at the numbers anymore. You just do it. The grind of doing it, whether people are watching or not, there's a grind to do that. The grind of like creating things within your business that are, how are they going to be received? You don't know. There may not be immediate gratification. There's a grind to that, but so it doesn't always go the way I want it to, but I get to do for me, you know. It's cool, man.
Yeah, soon enough, bro.
Yeah, you will.
Soon enough.
Any way I could support you, my man. Anyway, so what's going on? What do you think about? We haven't talked about what's going on in the world, but where are we at?
So many things, dude. Well, let's get the like whole POTUS thing out of the way. Like with what's going on with the federal agents and shit, right?
Yeah, that's dangerous.
So we're sending federal agents now into cities. And this is, in my view, and my view is that it's like inciting. Like we're trying to incite something because the protests, yes, in the beginning they were very intense and it was almost like a backlash. But it kind of like quieted down. I don't know if it was the media coverage quieted down, but yes, there were protests happening, but it wasn't the way it was when it first started happening.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, let's fucking send the troops in now.
Yeah. Well, the places where they're doing that, in Portland particularly, it's super fucking dark, you know, over there. And I think and this is speculation. I don't know. And the thing is, nobody knows.
Yeah, I really don't know. I'm not in Portland.
Knows. But there's a large leftist push there. I'm not going to say communist, but it's like Antifa kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Antifa's a bunch of white people. I don't think it's a lot of fucking crazy white people, and there's a lot of crazy white people in Portland and Seattle. I don't think it's an accident that it's happening there. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of it's hostile. It's not like peacefully protesting. I think I know for a fact that most of the Black Lives Matter protests were peaceful, and there was a lot of the peaceful protesters stopping the hostile protesters. Yeah. But that's what you saw in Chaz that was in Washington.
Yeah, in Washington.
And what you see in Portland are extreme left, like hostile things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with putting out troops, but what do you think's gonna happen? You think you're just gonna take over a city? No, like
I don't know. I'm not. Yeah,
I'm not saying you.
But
people. Like it's the we talked about this before. You talk about like we need revolution. motherfucker, they got all the guns. Every American can pull out all 300 million of our guns, and these motherfuckers still got tanks and jets, and they're always gonna. So they're just doing that, and I don't know why. That's the rock and the hard place. Like, what can you do?
Yeah, I think just like a full on like war with our government wouldn't be the best route.
No.
But a war of ideas, I can more get along with that. And also like this is just like a hypothetical like this isn't something that I think I want to happen or that I think will happen. But like if we were to have that situation arise, there would also be like members of our military that wouldn't participate in fighting the people. They might actually like flip sides. So I don't know how big the army would be. That's like, yeah, let's fucking kill all our citizens.
I think it'd be a lot.
There'll be a good amount for sure.
You see that in history. You see the government just kill billions. Mao killed more people and Stalin killed more people. It wasn't them shooting everybody. It was the people who they,
Yeah, like there's like some crazy statistic. I don't know the statistic, but like in like the Russian, I guess Stalin or whoever, the Russian like leader killed like more people than died in like the war or something.
Yeah.
Like 60 million, I think it was in Russia under I guess it was Stalin, right?
Yeah, let's look it up.
Like how many people did Stalin kill in Russia?
Hitler versus Stalin. Who was worse? Or there's oh well, I think Stalin killed like 60 million people. I'm pretty sure. If you think of like, because it's usually the three are Hitler, Mao, and Stalin. But yeah, Stalin killed hella people. I'm not gonna look and read it.
Yeah,
but it's not like the point is it's not them doing the killing individually. It's the people taking orders, and same thing happened in Nazi in Germany. So I think the troops would do that. I think they would. I don't have faith that they.
Well, and on the same coin, like the troops that like defect and are with the people, there'll still be people that will be like, no, fuck that, I'm gonna be with the troops. So
exactly.
It would go both ways.
Go both ways. I don't even think about that. I don't even think about it.
This was just like such an extrapolation.
It's so idealistic.
And not that I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, I could more go for the war of ideas, and it's a harder war, but like I don't know, dude. It's what needs to happen, man. We need to at least like talk about what the fuck's going on, like objectively at least, or try to be objective
We're
about
so
it.
far from that, dude.
I know.
I had a conversation with somebody in my in-laws in that side of the family, trying to like common ground. You've heard the way I talk about it. I really try to meet people with common ground. I think one of the first things I said was Donald Trump's not all the way wrong. I all the way disagree with Donald Trump, but I started the conversation that way. But every time I provided facts, information, literature, or documentaries to like enlighten someone, there was opposition at every moment. So it's not a war of ideas. I think we're so far from that right now. There's this woman on Facebook who's a train wreck, and I follow her because
I know
her life is her life is a shit show. And just
she actually came up in conversation this past weekend.
Yeah, her life is dark, dude. But anyway, she posts like the most inflammatory shit she can post, and just people. I read the comments, like her posts. Honestly, that's why I still follow her, because reading the comments is just like. And
I think I might have unfollowed her.
No, man. You get the comments are so crazy, and I'll just comment like, "Y'all are gross," because the language. Anyway, point is, we're so far from a war of ideas. That's a very rational way to put it. And like I've tried to have this conversation with someone in my my partner's family, and there was no breaking through. It was opposition because I disagreed with them, and I'm like. And you know what? I'm tired of trying to do that, and it's sucking me in to that polarization because I'm tired of being that empathetic liberal, trying to understand.
It's the hardest thing ever, dude. It's the hardest thing. I actually comment on someone's Facebook, talking about like who you gonna vote for, or whatever, and this one guy responded, like, do I want our country to be a socialist country? No. So I'm going to vote for Trump. So I was just like, I don't even want to
argue with
I
that.
don't even want to engage, but I was like, fuck it, let me just see what happens. So I said, oh, fascism is better than socialism anyway. And then he was like, oh, here we go. There's always one person who talks about fascism. Like, I could say the same about socialism. And he's like,
Yeah.
touche. But it's like, it's so extreme.
So yeah, that's where
It's
people
like-
go.
Joe Biden is socialist,
That's so crazy.
or like Trump is fascist.
Yeah,
You know, it's like to just be like, that's the end all be all of the conversation.
that's it. Once you start talking like that, that's the conversation. And I wrote something like, we're at a point where people think conservatives should run everything, or liberals should run everything. And I think it's irrational. It's bigoted. It's closed-minded on both sides. If you think that Democrats should run the entire country, like you're a piece of shit too. Because
Oh, I fucking hate the Democrats, bro.
and-
I hate our system in general.
the idea that every ethnic background, every value system, religious institution, age demographic should be, if all of those people should be governed by one group of people, that's
or even two.
two. That's so crazy. And like, but once you say that to someone, it's like, I can't even, this is not
Yeah.
even a real conversation to
The
be
thing,
had.
the thing to notice, I think, is like in other Western like civilizations, there's more than two parties.
There's a hella parties. There's a more parliamentary system.
Yeah, there's more like views, because like you could only cover so many views. Like the whole like left right divide, there, like we always talk about, there's so much nuance, and there's so like, but the thing is the two sides take on the whole like thing.
Mm,
So it's like, oh, if you're for abortion, you know, you're left,
yeah.
or if you're not against it, you're right.
You know
But
what?
like, there's so many like points in between.
You know what's an interesting point about that? Like the identity, like not identity politics, but what's it? Climate change. Ask a conservative. Say, give me a reason.
It's a hoax,
Gi-
fake news, whatever.
give
the
me
fuck.
there's no real reason.
Yeah.
And really, what are you asking with climate change? We need to stop burning shitty stuff in our air because we all breathe it. Whether the world is going to end because of it or not, we should move forward, right? We should move into more sustain. Like that's very rational. But it's become a liberal point that even when I brought that up with my conservative family, and been like, what about climate change? Like, and they're Christian conservative. I'm like, do you think God wanted us to treat this planet this way? What about going into more sustainable, energy? And there was opposition because it's a liberal idea. Because it's a liberal, so there are points that are like, if you believe in this, whether it's rational or not, you're not on my team.
Exactly.
And once you're there, I don't see how you get out of that. I see if Trump wins, riots. Biden wins, riots. I see it either way.
Yeah.
I see it either way. And like, we've gotten to this point where there is no level playing field. There is no common ground there. And I try. And I'm tired of being the black person trying to bridge gaps. Bro.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking tired of it. Like, I'm tired. It's not my responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, I believe what I believe. But actually, part of my value system is understanding what other people believe. That's part of what's important to me as a person, is being like, okay, this is, what do you think
If
about
everyone would just say the fucking St. Francis prayer,
Word
we'd
is
all
fire.
be chilling, bro.
Yeah,
Like, I seek to understand and to be understood.
exactly.
You know, it's like, we gotta we either all have to take a timeout, everyone go sit in their corner, take a fucking timeout, and let's
Yeah.
come back with like
Just don't do
a
nothing.
better idea.
So this woman who I used to really look up to, she said, Eric, why don't you try just doing nothing for a second? She's like, why don't you just try and stand still? Because I kept trying to like manage shit. She was like, just don't do anything. I was like, word. You never thought of that. But like that, we all need to kind of do that. Just don't post anything for a day. Just stop. Just fucking stop. Because it's chaos right now. And like we talked about a couple months ago, it disillusions you and it makes you not want to participate. It makes you mad at your neighbor. It makes you not want to go to people's houses for dinner. It makes you, you know what I mean? Makes you, that's just, we've gotten to a point where it's like neighbor against neighbor. And I say to people, like, do you want it to be like that? Like, do you see? And that's the biggest impact of Donald Trump, more than the economy. And that's always what people say is the economy. That's always what they say. But look at the country now.
Yeah.
Look.
But that's not Donald Trump's fault. It's China's fault.
Exactly. It's or Antifa's fault. It's like, and you feel gaslit. You feel crazy. You're like, everybody, you don't see this shit? It's just fucking out of control. You know, like if Obama was president or someone more, when Obama was president, there was pandemic. There was Ebola was there, H1N1 was there, but we had good leadership. We had good leadership, so it didn't get out of control. I think I tried to give, Trump a leeway. I was like, I don't know how I would deal with this. But then there's a way to deal with it that's not inflammatory. It's like, it seems like around every turn, there's an opportunity for leadership. There's an opportunity for diplomacy. There's an opportunity for rationality. And it's just, of course not. It's the throwing the fucking gas on the fire that comes out of it every time.
Yeah.
But once you say fuck Donald Trump once, you said it a million times. I think I'm done saying Donald Trump. Like, fine. But vote. Everybody vote. Fucking.
Yeah, I also, I just want to make this clear, even before all this, I remember, I'm pretty anti-Biden.
Yeah, me too.
I was when there was still primaries, I was like, fuck it, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
That's, so, I also hate this, I hate the establishment, both Republican and Democrat. So when someone says, oh, look at the Democrats, yeah, they suck too. And that's why I, think that we need more parties in the game, so that it's not all it's not 0 or 1 or red or blue. That's not how anything in the fucking world is.
Nothing.
So we have to start to mimic how the real world is into our politics.
Yeah, that's the person who I was having this discussion with, they were like, but what about AOC? And was gonna shit on this young. First of all, she's not a representative she doesn't represent you, so don't worry about what the fuck she's doing. Worry about do you know your representative's name? No, you probably don't. You're worried about this woman. You know what I mean? You probably don't. But we need, my defense of her is, do I agree with everything AOC says? No, but what AOC represents is young Latina energy in politics.
And also, she comes from, a working class fucking background. She was a regular-ass person before
She's representing a demographic that is not typically represented here. So do we need Somali Muslim fucking politicians? Yes. Do we need Middle Eastern politicians? Do we need fucking East Africa? We need everybody because everybody's here. We need more Asian representatives. We need all of that.
Yang gang, boy.
Yeah, Yang gang. Let's go. I support him. Yo, I like him. I like him more than Biden for sure.
Oh yeah.
But we need other people represented, and
also people who listen to doctors and scientists.
Yeah, exactly.
We need people like that who can say, hey, I don't know everything about fucking how the universe operates, but if 90% of this demographic who does that for a living says something, I'm going to listen to what they say.
And that's where you see it often with liberal people. We're the party of intellect. People say colleges and they're liberal. Yeah, there's free thought. That's I just recorded a little promo for the YouTube channel, and that's something as a progressive. I consider myself a progressive more than anything, and it's free thought, open-minded thought, progressive thought. How do we move our culture and our policy forward? It's never great again. It's always, how do we make our government run better? How do we make it more efficient? How do we represent more people? How do we, that's where I'm at. And conservative people, you know what it is? People, they only want people like them represented. They want Christian. They're like, he reflects my values. So you think your Christian values should be reflected on everybody else? Yeah, that's what they think. And that's where people talk about systems of white supremacy. Yeah, you as the white majority want to govern the way the black and brown and other minorities are governed, which is that's inherent in the system, but it's always been built that way. You've heard me say this, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's always, and it's working effectively the way it's been built. And that's why people get so mad at AOC, because she's a young, outspoken Latina woman. They're like, shut up.
Did you hear what the Yoho
called her a
dude?
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no professional place is that allowed. But you can say things like that to brown, to a young woman of color who's in Congress. Like, it's unbelievable. And I don't even why people bring her up. She's in New York, bro. She's not doing nothing to you.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, also, it's the media, bro. It's this propaganda. And it's like, there's like only a couple of names on the other side that you can point and be like, that guy. So on the left, it's like, oh, McConnell, Trump, fucking, whatever.
Ted Cruz.
Yeah. And then on the right side, it's like, oh, AOC and Pelosi and blah.
And Bernie.
But they're like so unrelated in so many ways too. It's just like, but like, hey, look, they're on that side, so they're the bad people, and we know because their name is brought up in the media.
And then people like me and you are trying to bridge gaps. We're friends with people of all different political backgrounds, and we're trying to bridge gaps. But once you start talking to them...
One thing I've been able to do, I think since this whole coronavirus thing like started happening, and like just the influx of like negativity that I've been subjected to since I've been like trying to pay more attention to things, is like I've been able to begin to detach a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like perfect there, and I'm still like pretty affected negatively just by like the general state of the nation and the state of the world. But I've been able to start to detach, and just view what's going on, but not get so stressed by it.
Yeah, it
still affects me for sure, but that like little bit of distance has been helping, and it's also been helping me in just my relationships in general. I don't have to fucking agree, dude. Like, no. I don't have to like make you agree, dude.
Yeah.
Like, but I still obviously have my own beliefs, and I think that those are the things that I believe in for sure.
I feel the same way, but then again, I feel like I don't want to tap dance and try to make people comfortable. I don't want to do that.
Although it is fun to like gaslight people, you know what I mean? I think that's why people love it so much. And not even gaslight, but like point out the like hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Like when people just say like shit that's just hypocritical. Like, although I know like from a spiritual like person standpoint I shouldn't engage, it's so fun to just like point out like, look how fucking dumb your statement is.
Yeah.
And it's not like that's not productive at all. If anything, it's probably like worse,
Yeah.
Because that just engages, and then it just like spirals out of control from there. But from a selfish standpoint, it's fun to do that.
Yeah.
It's fun to be like, dude,
none of that shit.
Look how dumb your shit is.
None of that shit gratifies me, because
It's a very temporary.
The hostility doesn't do anything. It bums me out. All of it super bums me out.
Yeah.
And then
it's low energy shit,
Yeah, low vibrational.
Low vibration.
Yeah, low vibrational, just a whack way to live. And then to see people live like that, and to like people you care about, that's the thing that bums me out. It's like, I like you. You know what I mean? I like you as a person. You know what I mean? Like, and you're being real shitty about this thing that doesn't have to be shitty. It doesn't have to be shitty at all. And that's why it's Team America, dude. It's Team America. I live here too. If you disagree with me, I disagree with you, but I live here too. So how do we compromise? But then I'm the one always fucking doing that. It's all of it bums me out. I don't like it. But let's fucking move on. What else has been going on? How have you been training and working out?
Yeah, I've been, so I have this cool thing which makes me feel less guilty about playing video games. Since that's like probably my number one coronavirus activity, quarantine activity. So in between rounds, I'll like go bust out 25 push-ups, or I'll like do the fucking bands and stuff. So I've actually been seeing a little bit of difference, and I've also been eating a little bit better.
I can't get the food together, dude.
I was on a sick one, dude, with the food.
I've been on this quarantine. I've been on a sick. I'm 275 right now. I've never been that big. Never. I'm a little embarrassed, to be honest.
It's okay though, dude, because I was in that probably until I did this. I did that cleanse thing.
Yeah.
And that kind of like chilled me out a little bit with like seeking the low nutrition, like
Yeah, I
high
might do
fucking
that this.
calorie food.
Yeah, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do juice and bone broth this week,
Yeah,
and
because
just fast.
if you just detach your like body and mind from those stimulating type foods,
Yeah,
then it's easier to just be like, all right, I'm just gonna eat this now.
yeah. For me, I still have the appetite of a bodybuilder, and not the training style. Because like the gym I was going to the gym for 5 weeks, and the gym closed. Okay, now the gym's closed here, and then I'm going to the gym in the desert, but that's not fulfilling because I'm a super creature of habit. Like I want to be able to do things every day. That's why I've been able to make gains in the gym, is because when I start doing something, I want to do it every day. But not being able to get traction. But I have been biking, but then I fell off my bike, and fucking now my bike's all bent up, and I gotta like fix that. It's
Where are you
fucking-
biking in
in the
India?
desert. So what I've been doing was I do a sprint.
Like you're doing dirt paths or just on the road?
Bike. So I do sprints. I'm not coordinated. I'm not that coordinated. I'm big and like chunky. So, so I like come out of my house and I sprint down to like the hill. You know how you've been there. That whole area is up a hill. You know where your boy lives is uphill from where I live. And down
Like
below.
going to the park?
Yeah, going up to where I met you guys.
Yeah.
That's all an uphill thing. You can't tell because the gradient is like,
Yeah.
it seems. But anyway, so I'll sprint down my road, then start going up the mountain, and I'll go up the mountain a couple of blocks, go over to where it's more flat, and then sprint up the mountain, go over to where it's more flat, and work my way up. I usually go up to where your boy lives,
Nice.
back all the way up there, and then I'll, kind of do the sprint back down, take the hill down, but I still go on the more flat surfaces so I can get my sprint in and get my pedal in. The other day, I said this on the podcast the other day, but I was finishing the ride. I was 3 blocks from my house, and I was like, this is the best ride I've done. It's like, I'm getting better and better each time. And then I was going around a corner, and there was like gravel, and I was like, let me go around the gravel because I'm on a road bike that you can't like
tiny ass wheels.
Yeah, tiny ass wheels, so you can't like skid. And then I took the turn too wide and hit a fucking curb and went fully over the bike, hit my face. Good thing I wear a fucking helmet. My glasses got all bent up. I had to get them fixed and shit. It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. Like I can fall.
Yeah.
But it was like fuck. And now my bike's all bent up. So, but I want to be in shape. That's like I just want to be back to normal. But it's just got to be consistent and start being consistent. Once you get a couple weeks in, I was talking to my old coach, and he was like, Eric, give it 60 days. If you train 4 days a week, do 3 days of cardio, so that's easy, biking and lifting, 3 or 4 days a week, I can change my body and get back to, at least if I'm going to be 270, get back to a shape I like. Because right now, I don't mind being 270 at all, but it's the shape. It's not 270, and the shape's like a different thing than I was before. But anyway.
There's two things I wanted to talk about what you just shared. So one thing I noticed with myself even, which I don't know if it's just coincidence. I don't know what the fuck it is. But whenever I start getting into something that I'm like I'm finally enjoying it, some shit will happen.
Yeah,
like I'll hurt my fucking shoulder, fucking like I'll aggravate something, I'll break, whatever, my bike or whatever it is. I'm always like, what the fuck, man? I was like, God, you don't want me to do this shit? Like, what is the thing? Yeah. But it seems to always happen whenever I'm like finally in the thing. It's just like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, all right, I got to start it again.
Yeah, man.
But the other thing I wanted to talk about, for me personally, I'm constantly like having to shift in terms of like my physical fitness. It was like the gym, and then I got hurt from volleyball and stuff, which is another thing. I got hurt playing something I enjoyed. But then the quarantine hit and gyms closed, so like now I can't do the gym. So now I'm doing this little shitty workout I was telling you about. But then I kind of want to focus more, I guess, on like cardio and shit. Like do cardio and like just like body weight shit, I guess, because that's all I can do. But then also that's like really all that's important for me to do.
The cardio is all that I really care about. Because like I said, I don't care about being 275. I just want to breathe. I want to be able to breathe and move. And I can tell that I was heavy because I just couldn't breathe and move the way I wanted to. So for me, it's just my main focus. I don't give a fuck if I don't lift at all. If I ride my bike every day and just keep my heart healthy, my stress level down, you know, and burn some calories. I was talking to my boy, he's moving out here. I want to be in the best shape of my life in my 30s. I want my 30s to be the best years of my life. You know, I want to look back when I'm 60 and say, I fucking love my 30s. Because people say, like, oh, my 20s. My parents would say that. My 20s were a fucking train wreck. I don't let these bitches be over. You know what I mean? But I want my 30s to be the healthiest I've been and the most wise that, you know, with wisdom and with like good sense, you know. So you just keep getting on the horse. I'm not a quitter. I've never been a quitter. So it's just fix my bike and get back on the road, or, you know, get back in the gym.
I think if there's one thing that our current situation is teaching us, which is something that we kind of learned, like trying to be people in recovery, is like to just get better at change.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because like we're all having to adapt like all the fucking time. Like every other day, it seems. And another thing is if like actual apocalypse happens, cardio is going to be huge, bro. We're going to need
to be able to run.
Yeah, fucking run down a fucking deer or some shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's
start doomsday prepping.
Yeah, man. I want a gun, but I talked about that last week. But let's wrap it up, man. I like this kind of format, you know what I mean? Just fucking chatting it up each week and catching up and all that. So let's wrap it up. Plug your Instagram if you want to. I know you don't. Yeah. It'll be on the bottom. It'll be right.
Oh, yeah.
It's right here.
Oh, it's there now?
It's going to be right there.
So, my handle is yourboy_is_nice. I'm on SoundCloud as well as Saladin Carpaccio.
Gang.
But I'm going to get new turntables soon, so I'm going to actually be spinning a lot more. So I'm hoping to put out a lot of content.
You can live stream on the YouTube
channel. Might, actually.
Fucking live stream.
I'm going to start putting some shit out. And I may or may not start a Twitch. Don't get at me.
We have those GoPros.
I might start fucking around. So I don't know. I'm going to try to be more creative.
Yeah, sure. Man. And like I just made a video for the channel. If you're watching this on Big Moon TV, you can also find this podcast and all the episodes of the podcast on the Hearts Over Everything podcast YouTube channel. That's also, but it's featured on the Big Moon TV channel. The YouTube, Big Moon TV. My website is bigmoodcoach.com. Instagram is Eric_Big Mood Coach. But we also have a Big Mood TV Instagram. I'm fucking around with it. And we have a Hearts Over Everything Instagram. So we're everywhere. But the Big Mood TV thing, we have a lot of cool stuff going on. Benny's working on his thing.
Aren't you putting up like a bunch of fitness videos as well? Was that on the TV or was that on your website?
It's going to be on Big Mood TV. So we'll have some yoga videos. We're kind of beta testing the recordings. We actually were at the park recording 2 or 3 weeks ago, seeing what we want it to look like with our videographer. We just got a lapel mic. I just gave it to Matt. So we're gonna start micing people up.
Yeah, it's gonna be rad, especially for people who don't have access to a gym or to a yoga studio. Like they can hop on there and see what's going on.
Exactly. And then next we're gonna start. I'm gonna get a model to take people through workouts in the gym. So we'll have the videographer take someone through. Have someone take them through a workout. And have full workout videos on there, workout kind of vlog. So we're just doing shit. We're doing hella shit.
Yeah, like whatever, dude.
Yeah,
just full send.
Yeah, dude, fuck it, man.
What do we gotta lose?
Yeah, just fuck it. It's fun and it's other people want to create shit too. It's just do it, man. Just do it. So we'll wrap it up. We're out of here. Peace.
Vultures circling above. They all in a piece, but they don't even know my name. Won't get even the swipe for the train. Cloudy, ride to the airport, gotta get right for the plane. Custom, smell like kush. Wifey hand in the tish. Yes, and I got no shame. Some line to shine. With a broke if you got no game. Waking up next to the scat. Can't go home to a dame. Nah, tell them sell to the same. Really though, who could they blame? I don't blame them either. They just wanna play the game and they're eager still. I don't wanna know you. I'm busy, you don't even know thyself. Grizzy, out for the dough. Busy's, I just wanna grow my wealth. Kaya, Lucy, sometimes I get dizzy, but yeah, I know my health.